Hey guys, it's Charmise Idris here from Charmed Bath and Body, and today I'm going to give you guys the pros and cons that I have found of the top 3 platforms to sell your handmade items on. That'll be Etsy, Amazon Handmade, and your own website. For this sake, we're just going to say Shopify because that's the website a lot of people use for e-commerce. And I have actually used all of these platforms. I'm on them currently, so all of this is from my experience. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So first we'll start with Etsy. So the first pro I'm going to say for Etsy, since I started on Etsy, is that it's great for beginners. It has a very low startup. The listings when you start up are 20 cents each, which I think is pretty much unbeatable for me when I started up because I didn't have a lot of money. Didn't have any money really, so it was great to just be able to spend 20 cents on each listing. I started off with 5 listings, so $1 to start my Etsy shop, and it was easy to fill in all the information. So it'll have like the title and you just fill in the blanks from there, like description, item, weight. So easy, and I recommend that to everybody who's starting with handmade. So that's just my biased opinion on that one. The second pro would be that it is a marketplace. So I didn't have a lot of people when I started up. I didn't have a lot of people supporting me. I didn't have a lot of people who even knew that I was making soap and body butters and stuff like that. So to be able to put it on Etsy and just have a marketplace of people who are already looking for handmade soap and all that stuff that I was selling was so much better than trying to find those people and bring them in to trust me to make their handmade soap over them buying Dove and stuff like that. And my last major pro that I'm going to give to Etsy is that since it is known as a handmade marketplace, most people generally know what to expect. So you know there's a person behind that business. There's probably just 1 or 2 people behind that business making that stuff just for you. So your customers are a little bit nicer. I have seen someone say that Etsy customers are terrible. I don't think that at all. Well, that's not my experience at all. So my customers are amazing. Of course, you always have people who are going to ask questions even though it's in the description of the product, but that's just life. That's any platform. But other than that, people understand, so they know that maybe you can go to Amazon and just buy a bar of soap for $1. Okay, that's what you're looking for. You want that specific bar of soap, but you go to Etsy and it's all handmade and you may spend $5 to $10 for 1 bar of soap. People pretty much know what they're getting. They know it's just handmade, so they know it's going to cost a little bit more. And when it comes to the reviews, they're a little bit nicer because they understand that there's a person behind that. It's not just some company that you don't even know what you ordered from. You know what I mean? So that's my last pro. Now the first con for Etsy would be the fees. Now if you are coming from a website, you know you already have your own website, then you're not used to paying just extra fees. You probably just pay your credit card fees and you know the monthly or yearly fee it is for the website and the domain. But Etsy has more fees than that. So yeah, it's a little difficult, a little irritating sometimes because the more you sell, the more fees there are. And the next con would be that it's not your own website, so you don't have control over Etsy. You have control over your shop to an extent, but you have no control over Etsy. So a lot of people complain about the policy changes. So I think last year there was a policy change to where if you made your shop free shipping for $35 and over, then you would get priority placement. A lot of people were angry about that, and I understand that because, you know, if you're selling a table, you don't want to ship it for free, basically, when it may cost like $50 to ship that. And you don't want to put it in your price because then it looks like you charging too much. So I understand that. And then there's other policy changes that have happened this year that have made people just leave Etsy, but that's because you don't have control over Etsy. You are on their platform, so you have to understand that, okay, so 1/3 of my sales, a little over 1/3 of my sales are from bath salt tubes. If tomorrow Etsy decides they don't want to sell bath salt tubes anymore, then that's 1/3 of my income out the door. But I have to understand that because it's not my platform. And the last con I would give for Etsy would be that there's less brand recognition for some shops. Now, for my type of shop where I sell bath and body products, my label is on there, Charmed Bath and Body. You're going to see it when you're opening stuff up, you know. So you're going to want to order that same thing. But for shops that do like invitations or just graphic design type stuff, or even jewelry, people will ask you where you got it from, or someone will ask one of your customers, hey, where'd you get those invitations from? And they're like, oh, I got it from Etsy. They're not saying, oh, I got it from Charmed Bath and Body or whatever your store name is. Same with jewelry. I've seen that in person where they had a nice little set with the earring and the necklace, and somebody asked, it's just say from Etsy. They don't know what shop it was. They just know they got it handmade and it was on Etsy. So yeah. So the next platform we're going to discuss is Amazon Handmade. And for the people that don't know, there's Amazon.com and then there's Amazon Handmade. And Amazon Handmade is a department of Amazon.com. So like when you do the drop down, you'll see like furniture, electronics. You'll see handmade there as well, but it's just the marketplace for all things handmade on Amazon. So for smaller creators like myself. I've been on there for a couple months, so I do have a small list of pros and cons, but I don't have as much experience with Amazon Handmade as I do Etsy and having my own website. So let's talk about the first pro, which is that it's Amazon. It's a huge marketplace. It's a huge trusted marketplace, especially during this pandemic. People are buying everything on Amazon, so that's giving you way more exposure than maybe having your own website and not having your own clientele already. Like if you don't have a social media following, being on Amazon is so much easier because you can even just say my products are on Amazon. People are like, what? So yeah, which leads me into my second pro would be that you can do Amazon FBA, and FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. So that's what I use Amazon for, because I already have my Etsy and I have my own website and I don't want to have to do inventory for a whole nother platform. So I just make a bunch of stuff and I ship it to Amazon, and it has the Prime label, so it ships in 2 days, well, approximately 2 days, from their warehouse to the customer. So that is amazing because people love Prime. Some people don't even buy things if it's not Prime. There are cons though. So the first con is that you must apply, and it's not going to be a con for everybody, but not everybody gets in. So in my research I found that some people have had to do 3 applications and they finally got in. Some people still can't get in for whatever reason. I was able to get in the first time I applied, and I was told the next day that I was in. So it may not be a con for everybody, but it is more exclusive than Etsy. The next con is that the fees are higher than they are on Etsy. So Etsy already has a nice chunk of fees, but then Amazon steps it up and has even more. Even if you're not sending your stuff to their warehouse, and you're just, you know, making it at home, and then you get an order and you ship it out directly to the customer, there are more fees on Amazon than there are on Etsy. So that's not that's not desirable to everybody. And then if you do FBA, then there are even more fees because you have to store it in their warehouse. And then that leads me into my next con, is that you have to ship fast. So if you're not doing Fulfilled by Amazon, where you put it in their warehouse and you're just doing it yourself, you have to ship fast. So like on Etsy, you can put that, you know, you ship things out in 3 weeks. Amazon expects you to ship it fast, and even more so, your customers expect it to ship it fast. Even if they're not getting it Prime, they're so used to Amazon being able to be right there that you just need to ship it fast. Another con for Amazon Handmade is the dashboard. So I'll just post a picture of it here. It's a little more complicated, actually a lot more complicated than Etsy or having your own website. So I'm still trying to learn everything on there because there's a lot of buttons. There's a lot of drop downs from drop downs. So it's it takes more to figure out Amazon than any other platform. I think it's a little more difficult, but that's just because it's so easy for people to shop there. They gotta add a little bit of difficulty for you. Not really, but that's just how I feel. And then the last con is that it's easy for people to return things. I haven't had anybody return anything personally, but I've seen other creators say that they had a no return policy, but Amazon still let people return things. So that's a thing about Amazon in general, not just Amazon Handmade, is that, you know, if you shopped on Amazon, you can return pretty much anything, especially if you go to Amazon customer service and complain. Whether it be because something's broken, which you should return, or you just, you know, decided you didn't want it anymore, or you tried it and just decided, meh, never mind. That is a terrible con for me, because I have a no return policy on my Etsy and on my actually everything. So to have somebody return something when there's nothing wrong with it, or, you know, if they just needed some money back, then that's annoying. One thing I almost forgot to state about Amazon Handmade, which is a major pro, is that there is no startup cost. So they do have the 15% referral fee for whenever somebody buys one of your products. 15% comes out of that and goes to Amazon, but they don't have a listing fee. So when I listed my first product, which was, I think, my rose clay mask, there was no fee at all. So Etsy would have charged me a 20-cent fee for that. So zero cost of startup. And the professional selling plan that you have to have when you sell on Amazon is actually waived for artisans on Amazon Handmade. So that's $40 you don't have to pay a month when you sell on Amazon Handmade as well. So the last place we're going to discuss for selling your handmade products is having your own website, whether it be Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, I don't know too many others, but you know what I mean. So I'm just going to say Shopify for general terms. First is you can have your own branding. So that's the first pro. It's your branding, it's your colors, it's your photos, it's you. So that, I think, is the best pro you can have, because when people look at your website, they get the feel of how you want them to feel. Honestly, like, they're not looking at Etsy where it's just a big old Etsy logo and then they're orange and then you get to post your pictures. No, it's your whole thing. It's you. So the next pro would be that there are no ads on your website sending you to somebody else's product, or sending your customers to someone else's product. So if you go on Etsy or you go on Amazon and you scroll down, there are, like, I think there's similar items, or whatever the phrase is. They're just sending you to other people's pages, other people's listings that may be close to yours. So there's none of that on your own website. So the third pro for having your own website is that it generally looks more professional. So if you're trying to have like a brand ambassador, or trying to do influencer marketing or anything like that, it's just better to have your own website, because you can do it from your Amazon Handmade or your Etsy, but you're sending people to that and they may end up on somebody else's listing, just because of what I said just a second ago about scrolling down and finding somebody else's listing up under yours. So yeah, it just looks more professional. Even on business cards, it just looks just a little bit more professional, which is one of the reasons why I did my own Shopify, actually. Now this next pro is specifically for Shopify, not for Wix or Squarespace or anything else at this moment of this video anyway. Shopify has a thing where you can tag your items on Facebook and Instagram. So just like you tag a person in a picture and they can click on it and go to that person's page, you can tag your items from your Shopify website, and people can click that tag, and then it'll open up like a little marketplace to be able to buy your products, which is so cool. And then the last pro is that you can add on apps to your Shopify website. So whether you want to change the way you do your shipping, if you don't like the regular shipping layout, you can download like ShipStation or Shippo. Even if you want music to play when somebody clicks on your page, you can do that. There's so many other things. You can have different little pop-ups to show people where other people have bought these products, you know, at certain times and wherever they're from or whatever. So the first con I'm going to give to Shopify is the cost of startup, as opposed to the other programs. So you have Etsy with the 20-cent listing fee, and then you have Amazon with the $0 listing fee. But then you have Shopify and products like it where you pay monthly or you can pay annually, and I think Shopify is $29 a month. So that's higher, obviously, than the other two, but it's still not outrageous though, so it's not too bad. And the only other major con that I can see with having your own website is that you have to drive customers to your website. Now that has been extremely hard for me, which is why I've had 3 different websites. I've started and stopped twice, and then this is the last time. I'm not going to quit anymore. I'm just going to do the hard work and bring customers to me, to charmedbathandbody.com, to shop on my website. So for Shopify, you have to be better at marketing, but like one of the pros I said, there are apps on there that can help you with that as well. So of course there are other platforms that you can use to sell your handmade on. You can do Facebook groups, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, eBay. You can use all of those. I have never used any of those, so I did not want to go into that in this video. I only wanted to speak on what I know personally. But if you have any insight, you can drop that in the comments below. And if you do have any more cons or pros that I didn't say, because this was a video about how I felt about the platforms, if you have any more information to add, please put that down below as well to help out other creators, whether it be beginners or people who want to, you know, just jump onto another platform to see how it works out for them. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you know you like my channel, and then like the video if you like the video. Thanks.